Supportive monetary, structural reforms, and fixing structural issues with the economy. These are all good things to be done, and would suggest that those are also, just as applicable to peripheral Europe today as they were to, UK in the 1920s and so on. Turn that around before you can even start thinking about the debt coming down, which requires... What our research shows is that there is a tricky balance to be forged, but I think the history does suggest that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, in the sense that countries have dealt with debt burdens similar to today. They've dealt with debt burdens in circumstances similar to today, and they have successfully dealt with them. The debt has come down. So what we take from this is, I think there is grounds for optimism that, this will pass. Pre-World War I levels until the 1990s.
And what we find is that the resilience of these economies is not a recent development, but rather the result of steady gains in performance over the past 2 decades. These economies are now spending more time in expansion, and their downturns and recoveries have become shallower and shorter. Large emerging markets like China and India, or commodity expansion, and their downturns and recoveries have become shallow. One reason these economies did well in the global downturn in 2009 was that they appropriately used their policy space. Many countries increased spending and lowered interest rates to support economic activity. That policy space needs to be restored by reducing fiscal deficits and keeping inflation in check.
Wide range of what's gone on. You have some countries in that...
The fund's view is that monetary easing in these economies, to the extent that they help avoid a downturn in advanced economies, is a net plus for the global outlook. So one of the key results in the chapter is that, recessions in advanced economies double the likelihood that expansions in emerging and developing economies will come to an end. So to the extent that you kind of